Hey, BookTube, this is Friday Reads.
I got my ticket for the long way round.
I'm Jen and I talk about audiobooks, and this is Friday, so that means Friday Reads. So I'll tell you about all the books that I read this past week, and what I'm planning on reading this weekend. The first thing I read was a novella that goes along with this series. This is the Conquered Earth series by J. Barton Mitchell, and the novella I read was called Winter Bay. And it is kind of a prequel to the series that kind of gives you a backstory about Mira Toombs, who is one of the main characters. You just kind of get a feel for what's important to her and why, and something she's been through and why it's important to her. And you get a kind of a gauge as to her moral compass, that sort of thing. So I listened to the first two books because they're on audio. This one is not. And they are narrated by Kirby Heyborne, who does a fantastic job. First one is Midnight City. The second one is The Severed Tower. And then the third one is Valley of Fires. And during the week, I listened to these two, and then I finished up by reading this. This was an incredible conclusion. I mean, there are people getting blown up, and a really bad villain, and crazy stuff happening, aliens, turning people into zombie-ish kind of people, and all kinds of stuff going on. It sounds like it might be a whole mess, but it doesn't play out like that. It's like watching a great movie. There are three main characters, Holt Hawkins. I just think that's funny. And Mira Toombs, and then Zoe, and then Max the dog. So 3.5 main characters. And in this last book, they split apart, and they all have to go their separate ways to finish out kind of the things that they had going on that needed to be resolved. And it's heartbreaking at points and wonderful at other points, and the whole ending to the whole story is really good. So I gave it 5 stars, thoroughly enjoyed it. I wish they put it out on audio because it would be amazing. This series needs its own review, so I will tell you about it all in a review because it's kind of a complicated plot to explain. A lot of people need to read these books, and I don't know why more don't, but yeah, I would suggest that you do because they're amazing. Then I listened to The Pirates of Pacta Servanda by Jack Campbell. This is book 4 in the Pillars of Reality series, and they're all narrated on audio by MacLeod, who is brilliant. Brilliant! So in this installment, it's all about pirates. They're on a ship and they're traveling, and there are battles that happen, and I just cannot rave enough about this series. I don't even know how to explain it other than to say it's steampunk mechanics versus mages who do magic. It's all through the eyes of these two main characters, who are Mari, the mechanic, and she's kind of the chosen one that everybody thinks is going to fix everything in their world, and then Elaine, who is a mage, who everybody kind of views as her sidekick, but who she has started to insist is the brains of the operation. He's the level-headed one, the mage, and so they're trying to bring the two groups together and overthrow the guild system and bring peace to their world, and it's just really good, and it's very funny. It's not a funny book, but it's written in a very lighthearted way, so a lot of the characters are thoroughly enjoyable just because they say funny things. In fact, one of the new characters is called Mechanic Ken, and MacLeod voiced him with this kind of California surfer dude. Like, oh, so funny. And I tweeted about that, about how I thought it was cracking me up, and MacLeod came back and said, hey, he was the best character. He was the most fun, and we had a blast with him, and some other stuff. And so I thought, how cool was it to talk to the narrators? Anyway, I gave it 5 stars, thoroughly enjoyed it, loved it to pieces. Can't wait for the next book. And then I decided I would reread the Irin Chronicles by Elizabeth Hunter, just because I wanted to go back to that world and those characters, and I just, gave myself permission to put aside all the new, shiny, bright stuff and just go back and really enjoy what I'd read before. And they're all right here, but I have them on audio, and they're all narrated by Zachary. I cannot tell you how much I enjoy these characters in this world. The whole world is so complex and intricate, and the characters so rich and deep. It is an incredible romance. It's done so gradually and it's done so tastefully. This is adult paranormal romance, but it's not really graphic in the sense that a lot of new adult romance is. It just doesn't go there. You know what's happening, but it's so tastefully done. It's kind of like a movie that has some of that in it, but it's just more the hint of it rather than the, play-by-play, which you don't need the play-by-play. You pretty much know what's going on. So I'm about 2 hours shy of being finished with The Secret, which is book 3. And then I also picked up a novella that was put out in December by Elizabeth Hunter as an ebook. It's book 3.5, and it takes the two main characters and it kind of just finishes off their story. And I don't know. It's one of those kinds of stories that stays with you, and I think about it and I just want to smile because it's just so cool. I just love it. So this next weekend, I'm going to try and listen to The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. And I've listened to it before. It's really good. I really like the story, and the movie has just come out. So I really wanted to refresh my memory and read it again before I go see the movie. So I'm looking forward to that. Actually, I got in the pool the other day thinking I had that loaded onto my iPod, and it was part 2. So I thought, oh, what the heck. I kind of know the story anyway, so I just kept listening. Anyway, so I will probably try and do that, and beyond that, I have no idea what I'm going to listen to. I'm kind of burned out on romance, so I think I'm probably going to stay in the whole sci-fi, fantasy, post-apocalyptic kind of thing that I'm kind of channeling right now. And beyond that, I don't have a clue. I can't even call anything to mind of what I'm even interested in listening to. I don't know. Who knows? I could pick up a piece of literary fiction somebody's recommended, or I don't know. Anyway, that's my weekend. Tell me what you're reading this weekend, because I always love to hear, and we will chat about that. And that's it for now for me. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.
When I'm gone, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna miss me by my walk. You're gonna miss me by my talk. Oh, you're gonna miss me when I'm gone.